Hey y'all, how are y'all doing? Happy New Year to you. And how was your Christmas and spending time with family, or your New Year? Let me know in the comments. I got crazy busy, so I hopped off for 2 weeks because I was like, it was so busy and I felt so overwhelmed, and I was like, I just need to take a minute back. And if you don't know, I am an introverted individual, and even though I can be extroverted and very fun, yeah, there are times where it just becomes too much and I have to just say, yeah, I'm not here. Which sometimes people will look at that and say, oh, you're not really consistent, and but for me, in this realm of social media and all the things, I have to do what's good for me. So yeah, that's what happened. And lo and behold, y'all, on New Year's, not even 1 hour into the new year, I fell down the stairs, and I'm currently recuperating from a twisted ankle and hitting my left knee. So I was in bed and still slowly doing more things, like gradually walking around the house more hours of the day, because yes, I know I have to get up and move, but when I do overdo it, it does swell up more. So I'm trying to keep it at a minimum because kids go back to their homeschool groups and I have to be driving with this foot. So yeah, so that's how my new year started. Still happy for the new year, still happy to be alive. So yeah, let's get into this video. So if it's your first time around here, my name is Frances and I'm a stay-at-home mom. I've been homeschooling. We are in our 5th year, and I've been a stay-at-home mom for 16 years. I became a mom at 18. And all of those things, as we grow in this channel, in this community, I will share more about that in my stories and where I am today. But I like to share all things homeschooling. I will be definitely getting into sharing more books, because I feel like as I try to find clean reads for my kids, it is hard to find those for my teens. If you guys have recommendations already, drop them in the comments. We are going to talk about what is currently on my boys' bookshelf. I plan to do one about what's on my bookshelf and what I'm planning to read this year. I am committing to less TV this year and more reading, so it's something that I know I need to do. I feel like in the high school years of homeschooling, there's more information that you need to take in about transcripts and course outlines, and just preparing them where they're going with their career and really walking along with them. And because now I have 2 high schoolers in 9th and 10th, it is really yeah, starting to kick in, like, oh wow, y'all about to graduate, y'all about to be out there. I don't buy a lot of physical reading books because, number one, we currently are in our rental property. Believing God for a house this year, guys, and it's just something I feel like we procrastinated, but I feel like it's time, because we are outgrowing and we need the space. Even though our goal is to have rental properties, it's just something like, it's hard to stay in them when you're a big family, and we need the room. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I don't buy a lot of these books because we don't have the room, and so when they really like something, I buy it. So I'm just sharing with you today what we have on the shelf, what it looks like. Not only do they have Legos on here, because they're always doing Legos, I'm trying to figure out how to shelf their Legos now, because they're getting into the more bigger, tedious Legos at their age. So yeah, so first, if you guys don't know, of course you know about this guy. The first one up is Dog Man. I'm just gonna let y'all know, I don't like Dog Man. I don't. But this is something that they love. They just came out with a new one. And then Dog Man has Cat Kid. And I feel like sometimes they could be like those overboard jokes and stuff like that. For me, it's not my preference of saying, like, this does not count as reading, but it is reading. So that's just my opinion, okay? It's just my opinion. But Dog Man, it's a graphic novel about a dog man. Dog, that's a man. Okay. So the next one is The Last Kids on Earth. And we actually started this a long time ago when I wasn't even homeschooling. The Last Kids on Earth have been around for a while. And so my now 10th grader, he loved this series. So I ended up buying the whole thing because then my second kid loved it. And so I already know that my third kid was going to love it. And so, yeah, Mark has already read through this because his brothers loved it and he already read through this. So this is like The Last Kids on Earth, life after zombie apocalypse. This is what it looks like inside. And so I don't know what my little one, who's 11, his genre is of choice right now, which is why I don't know. And we're like exploring this book, that book, and some of them he hates, some of them he likes, because he doesn't really know what he likes at this point. But I know my 10th grader loves sci-fi and my 9th grader loves fantasy. So these are the things that they tend to draw to. There is about, I believe, 8 books in the series already. And there's a graphic novel. They have a cool little survivor guide where they go through and just, yeah, do things inside that they also had. But yeah, there's a good amount of books. I believe they're up to 8 so far. And I believe it might, oh no, 9 is right here. So I don't know whether the series is going to continue because they haven't really come out with anything new yet. And then Investigators is another one that they like. He liked it, but it wasn't like, oh, a love, but he did like it. So I haven't bought these. I just got these from the library. And some of them we found at, this is probably from Costco's, because Costco's usually has books for like $7. So they be getting me. Yeah, they be getting me. The tale of, I never know how to say this word, so I'm not going to say it. But yeah, this is what I'm currently have my 6th grader reading. And we'll see when he finishes that. So next thing on my second shelf is, and I will try to, let me see if I can, yeah. So cooking, my culinary homeschooler who's doing shared time at a VOTEC for culinary has 100 Techniques, America's Test Kitchen. It's Dusty. He only uses these books when he picks out a recipe from these, so it's not something that he's using all the time. He got this, which I did have him doing work in, The Science of Spice from DK. This is a really nice book. It goes through each spice and it tells you how you can use it. So I thought that was a really good addition. This is actually a book that I'm into because every time I hear a spice, I'm like, ooh, what is it? Let me go read about it. So it's really nice just to know like all the stuff, how to blend it, where it's from, what is it good for? Because even in, life, I wish that I had the time to get into herbs and how good they are for you and stuff like that. I do have at the side of my bed a book on fruits and vegetables because I'm currently like, if I read about one fruit and vegetable every night, I feel like I will increase my knowledge just on the cooking side because we are trying to do way better this year with our cooking and our physical fitness. So yeah, this is from school. But the other one is the New Cooking School. This is like an updated version to the other America Test Kitchen. So this is a bigger one. And it also has the same like basic stuff. Yeah, not basic, but a lot of learning to cook in it. And so for everybody else in the house, mom, dad, and my 10th grader, Joshua, we don't mind cooking. It's the other two that I'm trying to like get them to cook more. So yeah. And then these are ones that he had, you see I got it all tabbed, that he had when he was younger. and that we would do recipes out of. So and we have tons of highlights. And so this is where I will take a minute to tell you about something that we are changing in our homeschool this year, and it is read alouds. So read alouds and Bible were not successful. Well, I can't say read alouds weren't successful. We were reading at night, maybe about 3 times a week, but it wasn't every day. So we were reading. The only thing that wasn't happening was our Bible. And because I didn't realize that not consume for the older kids is more so like they need to do it and then they come to you and you guys have a discussion about it. So a big change that we're making is that we're going to be doing less read alouds. I had read alouds for this year, but I'm kind of changing that up, which is hence I can't stand buying stuff if I'm not going to use it. But anyway, I had these little highlights and I was like, my mom gets these for my youngest every year. So we have tons of highlights and they have like little stories in them. So I told them after we do our Bible, we will just start reading through the little stories that are in the highlights as the story for the day and not make it like, oh, we're reading this book. And so just to read something and then do our Bible study. And so before bed. So that's what it's going to look like moving forward, because I feel like I wasn't including the biggest thing that is very important to me in homeschool, and that's them being able to be in the Word daily. So, yeah. The other thing they do have on here is comic books. We have tons of comic books, guys. Comic books and drawing books. Because my 9th grader is a drawer. We have a drum book because he's taking drums. And so, yeah, that's their little creative things. You see their Legos up there that are sticking up. I'm trying to get to the point where they actually keep their Legos together because, y'all, you spend money on these sets and then the Legos just be roaming free in the house. Like, and I'm over it. I like doing series better because I feel like once you get into a good series, you get into a good groove of reading. That doesn't mean that individual books aren't good, but yeah. So my 9th grader read The Memory Thief. I don't know if he finished this. The power-obsessed ruler of the city, Madam, has cultivated a society in which memories are currency. Citizens are divided by ability, and gifted individuals can take memories from others through touch as they please. So it's about a 17-year-old Etta who is desperate to live outside of the corrupt culture. To rescue her mother, she must prove her allegiance to the shadows by stealing a memorized map of the maze. And so she has to go uncover it. In a place where nothing is what it seems, can Etta ever become more than a memory thief? He did read Futureland. It wasn't on his love list, but he said it was okay. When the Stars Scatter, good book. I want to read this. I did not read this with them. He read it. My reader loves to read, so he usually gives me like, oh, that was good. The recent books, I got some recent books from the library. He was like, no. Black Boy Joy, he loved this book. He also liked this book. So for my 10th grader, my one that likes sci-fi, his first love was second. First thing was Last Kids on Earth, and then it was Secret Explorer Academy. He was literally sad when they wrote the last book. I believe this series has 7 in it, and so we don't have all the books. We just started buying them as the new ones started coming out. So this is what it looks like inside. So it still has some pictures. The 7th and final book, it does say the final book, in the groundbreaking international fiction series inspired by the real adventures and explorations of the National Geographic Society. It says, Cruz has done it again. He had made it to the finish line ahead of Nebula. He had won. Of course, there's Wing Feather Saga. Another reason why I love series is because my 9th grader, and if you don't know, I use grades on this channel because sometimes I'm like, people are weird about saying their kids' names, and so I don't know, so I don't, and I probably will. eventually. But Wing Feather Saga, this is something else that my ninth grader, he read through all of the books really fast. He did like it. If anything, he would say it wasn't like a 10, more like an 8 that he's read. So he did like it, but he was kind of like, could have been better. Yeah. Last but not least, and they just came out with their final book. I don't know where it is. I was trying to find it, but my 10th grader is currently reading it. This was the biggest thing that he really, really got attached to. Michael Vey. It's a #1 New York Times bestseller by Richard Paul Evans. It says, highly recommended. Michael Vey is a thrilling storyteller full of twists, action, intrigue, and outstanding characters. I wouldn't be surprised if Michael Vey sweeps the world. My kind of book, fast, funny, and strange. Once Michael's astonishing powers are revealed, the shock keeps coming chapter after chapter. So yeah, he has really liked this. This was actually supposed to be #9. It was supposed to be the last book, but then he put on a 10, which he got for Christmas this year, and he was very excited. And so, yeah, these are some books that my kids have loved. If you have any teen series or books that your teens have read, please drop them in the comments, because yeah, I need some more recommendations. I just recently got a book called Gone, and one The Dragon Aragon, and the Amari series. So those series are currently what we're going to try out to see if they like any of those series. It's hard to find stuff that's clean, and you know, I'm not worried about a book for my teens having like, oh, they kissed or whatever, stuff like that. But when it goes too deep, it's just, I don't want them reading. Yeah, I just want it to be good reading. So not saying that romance can't be good reading, but I feel like that's something when you become an adult, if you choose to read that, then hey, that's your personal business. But for right now, in the teen years, where I feel like teens are so impressionable, I'm like, yeah, we're not going to be reading that. With YouTube this year, I am currently going through all of that and really going slow with my goals. Not that I'm going to share them. I feel like sometimes when you share your goals, it's like, so I'm not really going to share them, but I know that I have told you before that I'm minimizing how much I share on Instagram so I could put more time into YouTube and really start to build this community over here, and also have time to create some products for my homeschool mamas that I feel like will really help them in their homeschooling. So I know that people do a lot of automated stuff, but for me, I feel like I share based on how I feel, what I'm going through, experiences through homeschooling. I don't just want to go plop and let everything fall on my Instagram, because I know some people, that's the way they just do it so they make money. And for me, yes, would I love socials to make me some money? Yes. But I figure I start right where I am and what I enjoy more, and what I feel like, even though it seems like it would take more time with having to edit and all of that, but I feel like it doesn't take as much time as Instagram. That is what's on my son's bookshelf. I will check you guys out in my next video and more. Let's do this year, guys. Let's be great. Let's do something different than we did last year. All right, peace out, and don't forget to like, subscribe, share. Love you all. Bye.